Hi, this is CA Apurva Jaisamha and you're with me on G for GST, a YouTube channel exclusively dedicated to GST. We have content ranging from bare basics to intricate nuances of the GST laws. This video is in continuation to our GST return series. In this video, we are here to address the infamously famous question of GSTR 2A versus GSTR 2B. So let's get started. This video is brought to you by Filing Hour, India's first financial services aggregation platform. Download the application from Play Store and help us connect you to a host of finance professionals. Your compliances are now just a click away. GSTR 2A needs no introduction. It has been there since the inception of GST and is fairly well known. But the term GSTR 2B was heard for the very first time in July of 2020 and the whole nation went into a tizzy. What? Is this a new return to be filed? What am I supposed to do? How does this affect my compliances? Let's all get to know this now. GSTR 2A is an auto-drafted statement of your input tax credit. It is auto-drafted by the GSTN and the data in GSTR 2A is coming from the returns filed by your suppliers. GSTR 2B is also an auto-drafted statement of input tax credit. GSTR 2B is also auto-drafted by the GSTN. And the data in GSTR 2B is also coming from the returns filed by your suppliers. Then what exactly is the difference between both of them? And why have two returns to solve the same purpose? To put it vividly, GSTR 2B is static and unchanging, whereas GSTR 2A is quite dynamic and constantly updating. Every single time any of your suppliers file their GSTR 1 returns, the input tax credit that is reflecting in your GSTR 2A goes for a toss. The number sometimes increases, the number sometimes decreases. The GSTR 2A input tax credit reflecting for one particular month is always subjected to updation depending upon and as and when any of your suppliers file their GST return. But GSTR 2B is unlike that. GSTR 2B captures the input tax credit data from one given point in time to another given point in time. Therefore, it is generated only once in a month for a given month and is forever permanent. I will explain this to you with an illustration. Let us take the month of March. GSTR 1 return for the month of March is due to be filed by 11th of April. So let us take an ideal case scenario where all your suppliers file their GSTR 1 return by 11th of April, which means the total input tax credit reflecting in GSTR 2A and 2B exactly matches without any variance. However, let us take a situation where some of your suppliers are non-compliant. That is, they do not file their GSTR 1 by 11th. Rather, they file it by let us say 13th or 16th or 19th in a belated fashion. So every single time any of your supplier files their GSTR 1 return, even though it is filed after 11th of April, the input tax credit auto-populating in GSTR 2A keeps on constantly updating. So on 13th, a couple of suppliers file their return and the number in GSTR 2A is gone for a toss. On 15th, couple of suppliers file their return and the credit reflecting in GSTR 2A is gone for a toss. So GSTR 2A does not stop clocking in the auto population at any given point in time. Whereas GSTR 2B return is unlike this. GSTR 2B return does not capture the data of any uploads made beyond 11th of April. So even though there are suppliers who are filing their returns on 13th, 15th, 18th as the case may be in a belated fashion, while these invoices are captured in GSTR 2A and reflecting in GSTR 2A of March, still GSTR 2B stops clocking in the data after 11th. So GSTR 2B captures the data of input tax credit filed by the suppliers from 12th of any given month to 11th of the subsequent month. So any return data, any returns filed beyond 11th of any given month are not captured in GSTR 2B. Let us understand the errors in filing GSTR 1 into two categories. First is late filing and second is wrong filing. So let us take the case of late filing. Let us say a supplier has filed his GSTR 1 of December 2020 in March of 2021. So he has basically filed his December return in March. The moment he files his December return in the month of March, let us say on 28th of March, the GSTR 2A of December gets reflected with this credit. So just like how I said, every single time any supplier files his GSTR 1 return of any given month, GSTR 2A of that month keeps getting updated. Whereas GSTR 2B for the month of December 2020 has already been generated with unchanging information. So now on 28th of March, when any of your supplier is filing a December GSTR 1, this comes and gets captured in GSTR 2B of March 2021. So in short, any belated filings will go and get reflected in that particular month's GSTR 2A, whereas it gets reflected in the GSTR 2B of the month when such belated filing has occurred. Let us now discuss the second case, that is a wrong filing case. So let us take a case where your supplier missed reporting an invoice in his December month's GSTR 1. He has filed a GSTR 1 of December, but he has missed reporting a transaction. So you intimate to them and you correspond with them and communicate to them that they have missed reporting an invoice. So resultantly, your supplier uploads this invoice information along with his all other invoices of February in February month's GSTR 1 return. So February month's GSTR 1 return is typically filed on or before 11th of March. So since it is filed on or before 11th of March, this particular missing invoice that has been uploaded in February's return gets reflected in GSTR 2A of February as well as 2B of February. So to summarize, if it is a case of belated filing of GSTR 1, then your GSTR 2A of that particular month goes and gets updated. Whereas if it is a case of wrong reporting and subsequent rectification through another month's GSTR 1 return, then both your GSTR 2A as well as GSTR 2B of that month through which this rectification has been made will reflect these invoices. So now I hope you have fairly understood what is 2A, what is 2B and where a particular credit gets reflected. You may ask me a question, should I consider 2A or should I consider 2B? Or should I just keep doing this reconciliation twice for the whole of the year? So the answer is never simple. For executing a month-on-month ITC reconciliation, I would suggest you use 2B because it is static, permanent and unchanging, and your reconciliation performed for one particular month does not have to be visited again. But if you're doing this reconciliation for the whole year as such, then you can consider GSTR 2A to be the base because it will consist of all invoices uploaded by all your vendors at any given point in time. So I hope with this analysis you were able to get a fair idea of what is GSTR 2A and 2B. And to stay updated in GST and get to know everything that is happening under GST, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon.